It's working again. Let's see if we can get chat back. When I refresh chat, it seems to show us disconnected again. Okay. Okay. Okay, there YouTube goes as well. Okay, let's hope it lasts. Okay. Sound's still working? Yes. Okay, good. So we've got the torches here. Oops, that's exactly what I don't want to have happen. Ah, twice. How am I gonna... Because I'm gonna have to do this a bunch of times. I'm gonna have to put a block there. Let's... So this is where it gets chaotic, because if I fall off to the outside, I'm pretty much gonna die. I have iron armor and no feather falling. I think when I did the same thing before with feather falling, I fell down my mob farm and I ended up with 1 heart, so that tells me that if I mess this up, I won't survive it. I should probably try to sit here. That way I can hold shift in, no walking, much safer. Okay. So this is going to be the drop chute, which means water is going to flow right up to the edge, which means this is going to be 8 blocks out. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm just going to put a torch there. More torches, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. mustache is getting itchy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So this is the flushing mechanism. So from the outside we want it to be so this will be the walls. They need to not be able to jump on this, so it needs to be too high. And then the same thing over here. Also need to not be able to jump on this. So we're just going to build it out like that so that we don't run the risk of falling off ourselves. Falling off over there won't be too bad, but we don't want to fall off over here because that's going to be a problem. So what I've realized, you can't shift over corners like this, but you can walk over them. So you have to let go of shift, which is kind of annoying, but you can do it safely. Here we have to put a block. I tend to put the block on the corner on the inside because then I have the lowest risk of dropping it and losing the block. This should be within 24, so I shouldn't have to worry about anything spawning on this level while I'm on this level. But I will light this up because when I go away from this, I will have spawns on this. So now we have the general area. I'm not putting torches on this yet because it has to go another level higher. So I'm not sure if I have enough blocks. That's why I'm placing the blocks in such a way that if I don't have enough, the ones that I have placed won't stop me from getting to the other ones. It's important. So in the previous episode, on the last stream, I placed all the torches on that level, because now once I start building this, it actually is going to start to throw a shadow over that platform. So if those torches weren't there, things would start spawning there when I get high enough up. Because since I'll be standing down there, when I want them to spawn up here, when I'm standing up here, it means things can spawn down there. They should be the same distance. So now I've still got some blocks, but in order to just, this will be the blocks that we see from the bottom. So I made this all stone bricks. Now what we'll have is, this is where the water is going to be. So there'll be water flowing down. And actually what I want to test, because we had an issue with it before, when I was trying to make a tree planting area earlier. Let me put the torches on for now, because if I go down, I don't want to mess with it. Oops, we only have one bucket, so because we only have one bucket, I'll have to place it and then go down to get another one. Okay, it seems to be doing the right thing there. I think there's some caves underwater there. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I should have used slabs. It's okay. I need to use full blocks for the walls, but I can use slabs for all the platform areas. So like where the water flows, I could have actually used slabs. I'm not going to break it down now because then everything's going to drop in the ocean and I have to go collect it. So that's fine. But I'll definitely use slabs for the spawning platforms, because that's the bulk of it. It's the walls that go up the sides, and then the spawning platform is the bulk of what we have to do. So for the walls, I'll need the solid ones. So let's do. And we're going to need quite a lot of slabs, so I'm happy to just do all of those. And then we're going to need a bunch of trapdoors too, like a lot of trapdoors. Let me just do this. Am I not seeing it? Why? Oh, there. Okay. So we won't be able to go down with the stairs, with the ladder in the end, because we need to take out all the torches, things are going to spawn, and then if we go down with the ladder, it's going to take too long. So what we're going to end up having to do is put the water in the bottom that we can drop onto, and then when we get to the bottom, we just take the water out. If mobs drop in the water, then they just won't die, or we'll just kill them normally. So let's just do this. Luckily with this design, all the water just needs to go in the bottom. So you have these 4 channels, and then you're done with the water. You don't have to do anything else. It's one of the things I like about it. If you make it bigger by putting more spawn, you can put. So let me just give an overview of what we're trying to do here. So what's going to happen now is there's going to be spawning platforms here, so like an 8x8 for them to spawn on each of these 4 sections in between the water channels. And then we're going to put the spruce trapdoors like this. So I'll put them like this so you can see what the bottom is going to look like. So we're going to put them there, and what's going to happen is mobs are going to think that they can walk on them, right? If they're standing here, they'll go, oh, I'll walk over here. But then what we're going to do is close them, and the mobs can't tell. The mob's AI doesn't register whether the trapdoor is open or closed. So when it's closed, they think they can walk on the whole block, right? So they'll walk all the way over to the edge, and they'll go just past the edge here, which is the middle of the block, and then they'll fall off. They won't particularly try to do it, so they won't be rushing for it, which would be the ideal. In a mob farm, you'd want all the mobs to do the thing that gets them killed as soon as possible. But unfortunately, we don't have a way to make them go for something that's over here that'll cause them to path to it. Now there are ways to do it if you don't use solid blocks anywhere except in one direction. Then the mobs will try and path to the solid blocks. But for that we need to use stairs for everything on the outside, slabs for all the spawning platforms, and stairs for the walls, everything. And then we would have to put like all solid blocks in this middle here, and then they might path to it. I haven't actually tested that, so I'm not going to go through all the trouble of doing it in hardcore unless I've tested it. So that's something I might do in a creative world, and then if it works, I might go through the effort in a hardcore survival. But in the last world I just did this basic one, and what I do is I just add extra layers, and the extra layers just help a little bit to fill up the mob cap. I do about 3 layers. I think after that it doesn't help that much. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this, and then we'll put the spawning platforms here. So the spawning platforms are basically just going to be a standard 8x8. So this counts as part of the 8x8 actually. So actually I can get some of these blocks back. So let's just do this first to make it safe. So this is going to be the last block they spawn on. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so these are all the blocks. I shouldn't be able to fall off here, so except for over the end. That's fine. Oops, that's not what I want. I specifically want to use slabs to save resources. This bottom needs to be bricks because they need to be able to not go through there, and we can't put a trapdoor here to make this line up because then the trapdoor's in the block and the water can't go in the block, and we want the water to flow there. So what we want in the end is for this slab to be on the top, but I'm going to just put it here so that there's a step for me to get up. And that's just to make it a little bit easier for me to build. So you see now I can walk on this and then go up here. Now on this bottom one we could have put bricks, because you will also be able to see this from below. But I think I'm going to make it this, just so you can see the structure. I was actually thinking that I'll make it wood because you don't see it, but you will actually see the bottom part. And now we need to do the same for all 4. So this isn't a complicated process, it's just a little bit time consuming, considering that you have to hold shift the whole time, move very slowly, make sure you don't fall off. And line everything up. If we go too far we can just break it, but then we're probably going to lose the materials because it's going to fall in the ocean, and by the time we get down there it's going to have despawned. At least taking these blocks out gives us a little bit back, because then we can use them a little bit more efficiently later on. Now it'd be nice if we could use stairs or something where, if stairs, I mean a stair isn't a full block, right? So if you converted blocks to stairs, you should get more blocks, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way. Not unless you use a data pack or something to alter that recipe, which I tend to do in non-challenge single player worlds. One of the vanilla tweaks mods, data packs, does that. It converts it so that you get from 6 blocks, or from the 8 blocks you get I don't know if you get, from 8 blocks you get 12 stairs, right? Because a stair is a 3/4 block, so 8 to 12 gives you 2/3. So there's still a little bit of loss, but it's closer to what it should be. Now before I go down, because I'm tempted to go sleep, although I don't need to if I'm lighting everything up. Nothing should be able to spawn here, but that's the whole reason why we're building this mob farm up here, is that when we're up here, nothing should spawn down there. So this will actually be a good time to test it. The only thing is that it will be dark up here, and I don't think we've lit this up enough, so I'm actually going to do it. Let's do 2 in from each one. And the second one, like that. These are different now, so it's quite hard for me to tell which one it should be. It should be that one, that one, that one, that one. And I didn't light up these yet. Okay, and then just that. So I like to keep the last trapdoor open so I can use it to walk along here. When I build the wall up, then you can jump over like that. Okay, so now we have to actually, let me do the same thing here. Even these out. So used to crouching. So now I'm crouching even when I don't need to. But that's fine. If you develop that habit in hardcore, don't lose it. Like, rather crouch when you don't need to than not crouch when you need to, because one of those things loses you a little bit of time and the other one loses you a lot of time. This should just break the bottom slab, yeah. Okay. Okay, that'll close when the trapdoor's closed. I'm hoping that this doesn't let light through. I think it doesn't. Either way, it should be dark there. If it doesn't, we might have to come back, but I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Okay, so this is our 4 spawning pads. So you could just build it like this. You build up some walls here. So if you did this, too high, because if it's one high, they would jump onto it. And now this is technically a spawning pad. If you do this, and you take the torches away and you go down, things will spawn on here, they'll walk around. Some of them will walk over the edge, they'll fall in the water, and then you break these blocks and then they'll drop down the chute. And they hit the bottom, they take full damage, and then you can easily kill them. The problem with this as it is here is everything can spawn here. Spiders, skeleton, zombies, and creepers, and witches, and that's all. And endermen. Now, obviously, since they're going to be dropping in here into water, you don't want endermen to spawn, because once they hit the water, they're going to teleport away. So the easiest way to stop endermen from spawning is oh, actually, now that I think about it, endermen need 3 blocks to spawn. But if I'm just trying to think now. So what you could do is put a 2 block, make it 2 blocks high, put the next floor under here, and then you do the next spawning pad. And then an enderman won't be able to spawn in here, right? Because they need they can't go under 2 blocks. But now I'm just thinking what we can actually do, and I'm just going to pause this here, and I want to check something. Enderman spawn room. I'm trying to see if I can. I want to make this layer with bricks will work, but if I make it like this with slabs, alright, I want to figure out if an enderman can spawn under that, because if they can, then I can't do it that way. I know if you put a trap door in a too high area, then skeletons can't spawn, but creepers can. Skeletons and witches can't spawn, but creepers can. So I'm just trying to find the see, they're saying 2.9 blocks, and a slab is half a block. Yeah, slab is half a block, so I'm pretty sure that if they don't fit in there, then they won't spawn in there. Okay, so now I don't want to be building this from below, because then I'm creating a spawnable space there. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into a makeshift staircase, and hopefully I have enough. So I'm just building this up. So I just want to make sure I get the chat back again. I'm building this up kind of partially so that I can if I run out of materials at any point in time, I can use the rest of the structure to go back down. So I'm not putting myself in a position where I have to finish it before I can go back, because I don't know if I have enough materials. And that's generally something that you want to do. You want to kind of watch out so that if you run out of any one thing, that you can kind of go back. So I'm kind of building this platform, but while I'm doing that, I'm building it into a staircase. So you see that's a staircase. So if I finish this whole thing off here, I can go back. Only once this whole thing is done and I know I have enough materials that I don't need to worry about this, will I then go and build the next one up and then make the staircase there and then connect these two. Then I won't be able to come up here anymore, but I'll be able to come up there. So I could put the trapdoors in, but I'm going to do that last because I can do them from across like I did at the bottom. So let's see. One thing I forgot here is torches. So second one in. And I leave all the torches in until the end. I'll clear them out from the top to minimize spawns. So I don't need, where did I actually put that block? Yeah, I don't need blocks underneath here. I only need blocks from here onwards. So what I'm going to do is just to conserve blocks, I'll do exactly that. So same thing as I did before. Turn that into a staircase so I can always get on top of this layer. I don't need a block here, but I think I put one. No, I didn't put one here. So now I don't need to come here anymore, and I'm just going to put this torch here so that I won't know where the middle is, and so that I can light it up in case I don't deal with the rest of the stuff before I need to go down. So there you go. Now we've got the foundation for this platform. So that's one of the things about vanilla Minecraft. Like, sometimes people see a proper spawner and then they like, oh, why does it spawn things so fast? And I mean, that's exactly what the spawner is supposed to do. It's just you have to kind of understand the mechanics to know what's causing things to spawn. And obviously, if you exploit those mechanics, if you don't give Minecraft anywhere to spawn things except in your mob farm, then it should be spawning them pretty fast. Now in this case, because this is survival and we limited in what we can do, we can't get like the most optimal, even for this design, for this kind of mob farm. The ideal would be to put it lower. Ooh, good thing I was holding shift. Because there's some mechanics in Minecraft that we're not exploiting here. So this is quite high at build limit. So this is kind of the last place Minecraft checks. If we're around here, this is pretty much the last place Minecraft checks to try and spawn mobs. So that means every time it spawns a pack, it's going to check every spot below it, which is not really what you want. But if we didn't do that, if we built it lower, we would have to clear out everything else, and that takes much longer than building this thing in the first place. So that's not really a viable solution for us. What we're going for is what is kind of the quickest and safest to build against, you know, how well it works. So there's definitely things that is quicker and or easier to build, and there's definitely things that work better. But on the scale of it, this is what I've found to be a pretty good balance. It's not complicated. You don't need redstone or anything to make it work. There's very little game mechanics that you have to understand. It's just the fact that mobs will pass onto a trapdoor. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Now, and the killing mechanic is straightforward. It's a 20 block drop, and you kill them. It's easily upgradable. So what I like about it is, I want the XP out of it, and initially that's the main reason why I'm building it, is for the XP, and so I want to kill them. But when I don't anymore, all I do is I replace the blocks under there with magma blocks, and then they'll drop down and then they'll die. The only problem with that is witches won't die, because they'll take the damage and then they'll just drink a fire resistance potion. And so you will end up backing the farm up with witches if you do it that way. But that's not too much of an issue if you're just after the drops. You probably don't want witches anymore at that point. If you're optimizing for just getting the drops, you're probably at the point where the main thing you need from this mob farm is gunpowder and maybe bones, if you've got an automatic tree farm or something. But chances are you're just after the gunpowder for rocket fuel. I'm not going to climb on, because climbing on I can fall, but if I do it from this side I can't. Oh, I still have one block of stone. I could have made the stone cutter actually. Oh no, I don't have the iron. Okay, no, that's fine. I'll do this. Looks like we'll at least be able to get the second layer done, which is, it's technically halfway, because we've got the floor and then the second layer and then the third layer, but then we also need a roof, so there's another layer that we have to do. Definitely gonna need more spruce wood though. Oh yeah, we've got more spruce wood, we just have to make it. We have more stone at our base, so I don't think that'll be a problem. Is the edge? That's correct. Yes. Just gonna put that there for now. need to put another ladder here, because since I put this block here, I need to be able to get up. Now since I need to come here to crop this stuff, I might as well go get the rest of the stone, because I'm going to need it. Let's see. Just going to take all of that, just so I have it. I could also try and grab these blocks, but digging them up underwater is going to take a while, so hoping to not waste that time. Oh, I didn't craft what I needed. I think since I have enough space, I'm just going to take this with me. Shouldn't need to sleep, so I can just keep on crafting as I go. Let's put the slabs. Okay, no, we're going to need a lot more than that, so let's... because I was holding shift that I was doing that. Okay, so we've done that side and this side. see if we have enough for this side as well. So here we're fairly safe. If we drop down there, there's water and it won't drop us all the way down, so we don't have to be quite so careful. Once we get to this point, we just mustn't go over this side, but if we do, we'll also be fine. It just means we have to climb back up. So now this is pretty much done. Now once I fill this in, I won't be able to get up this layer again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this side open like this and build a staircase going out, and then do all the other platforms. So as you can see, I can only go up one block at a time, so this is the highest I can go. So I'm going to do exactly that, and then I'm going to go all the way around. Now this is just a wall for this layer. Now when I fill this wall in, now I have to rely on the trapdoors to come back. And rather than walk backwards filling this in, I take this side and go backwards this way, so that I know I'm not going to get to a point where I'll fall off. If I walk too far this direction, nothing bad happens. Same here, I'll go this way. So here I'm about halfway, I turn around and I do this side. That wall. So now this is the staircase. We can't go closer than that because then we won't be able to get back up. Now what we can do is we need to go up one way and not the other way. So I can do this. So I need to keep that open so I can get up here. I'm just going to put that block there as well, so that I don't have to worry about that, and I should still be able to get in under here. Which means I should be able to go like that, and so I'll just keep a passage here to get up. So now this is the second floor wall. We're going to do the third floor, and then the roof. So because this is 2, we need one more row of blocks. And once we do this row, this is the row that the floor is going to be on. So I'm just going to go once around so I can know that I can get to everything. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to need more than one more stack, so I'm going to just do 2 stacks at once. Okay, so that's as far as we can go. I'm going to take the trapdoors out and start working on the slabs. So this is the third and last spawning level. And we're going to light it up so that it's safe for when we go down. What a lot of people try and do is they try and build it so that they don't have to go down. So they go once, build it, and then they don't have to light it up because nothing will spawn when they're here. But as soon as they go down, things will spawn. And then they forget something, and they forget that they didn't mean to not go down. and they go down, they come back up, and then there's creepers and skeletons and stuff up here, and they just keep knocking you down. That's what you don't want to have happen. Which shouldn't be too hard. The main thing to just remember is to have enough torches. You can go back and forth 100 times if you need to, so long as you have enough torches. But if you don't bring the torches, you can't go back without problems. It's a little bit tedious, but to like build this, but you do it once in a world, and it's less tedious than going out at night trying to get mobs to spawn, especially if you need a specific mob, like if you're looking for spiders, and then you have to like run around, and you might spend the whole night running around and getting only like 1 or 2 spiders, and then then it took you 10 minutes. And of course you don't have to build it as big as I'm building it. I tend to go kind of overkill with it, because I'm naive and I have faith that this is going to be my last run through, right? Nothing bad's going to happen, we're going to make it work. Which I know is probably not the case. But you have to think of, like, for all the preparation that you're going to need later on to get all those last advancements, like going to the end, bringing a shulker back. I mean, you have to build a rail over that 1,000 block gap. You got to do all those kinds of things. Bringing ghasts back. You're gonna need like lots of rockets and all that kind of stuff. If you want to build stuff as well, bone meal is very useful. So it's nice to have one farm that provides all of that. I set up a skeleton spawner in my previous world, and it had the advantage of like only providing bones and arrows. The arrows I didn't really use for anything. Like, I used some arrows. Specifically because I had the skeleton spawner set up, it was quite a lot of work to do it, because with the change in the water mechanics, getting those elevators to take the mobs up properly without them getting stuck and all that actually took me a while. And after I did it, I wanted to make it count, so I ended up trying to use my mending bow more over my infinity bow so that I could use some of the arrows. But ultimately, I mean, that was just an excuse to try and use some of the arrows. Even doing that, I didn't need nearly that much arrows. I didn't even really get to the point where I used all those bones either, because I didn't have a automatic tree farm or a nano farm or anything like that. Nano farms are really the main thing that uses that much bone meal. So this is straightforward. Once you've done the one level, the other two is literally just a copy. Okay, so that's the third spawning level done. We still need some trapdoors on the edges there, but that's fine. We should have some spare. 8. Should be right. Yeah, that's the 8 we need for there. So we have exactly the right amount. I'd love to say I planned that, but I didn't. So now we just need the same thing for the top here. So these are 3 spawning platforms. We don't want Enderman to spawn on the top level either, so what we do is we build a roof that's too high, and now everything that we want to spawn can spawn in a too high space. So what we're going to do is, rather than put a block and then put a slab on the upper half of it like we've done here, because we use the upper half of the block here so that things can spawn, but on the top we don't want things to spawn. Things that spawn on the top is going to take up more up cap, and they're going to walk over the edge and fall off and all that kind of stuff. So what we want here is we want 2 solid blocks for the wall. We don't want them to we don't want light to come in, because that'll reduce spawns. So I'm just going to go around like we did before, and fill the wall in. I'm not sure if we're going to have enough blocks. I think we're going to be very close. Again, same thing, starting from that end, working backwards. Yeah, we're definitely going to need all of them, and maybe then some. Okay, so this is the wall we need, and then things can also spawn on here. So what we're going to do to stop that is just the simple thing where we put slabs on here, because that stops the spawns here. So that's the first thing we're going to do, to make sure that we use that first, so that if we leave, nothing spawns. Because there's torches down there, but there's not torches on this wall. So that's another thing to keep in mind. If you leave this unslabbed and you go back down, you might come back to the odd skeleton on this wall. Because if you look at the light level here, so this is right by a torch, so this one is probably going to be wait, what's the it's 9 on the block here, 8, 7, this one is 7, it doesn't drop to 6, and that's just because of how I've placed the torches. But if you don't place them exactly like this, you know, you might have that problem. So rather safe than sorry. If you don't have slabs to slab it, then torch it up. And I'm not going to have enough slabs to finish this, so I'll have to get more. But now you'll see that this is too high. So where the other ones were 2.5 high, this one's too high. They could actually all be too high. So if you used full blocks, they would all be too high. We just used slabs to save materials. And now it's going to be tricky, because once you close this off, you can't use that to jump because it's too high. So I'm going to gonna go along the outside. And that's what we've got. So we need, each of these is 64. So there's about 4 of 64. And a stack of blocks gives us 2 stacks of slabs. So we need 4 stacks of slabs, and then maybe another stack of slabs, another 2 stacks of slabs for the middles. So we need 6 stacks or 3 stacks of blocks, roughly. Take and then we need some more blocks to fill this in, and then the stuff at the bottom. We have actually, before we go down, let me just do this. You can leave the wall on the outside, stone slabs. But I'm trying to see, we might have enough to fill this in with spruce. So I think I might just do that, because I don't really have more stone, so I'd have to go mine for more, and I'd rather try to finish this all in one go, just for consistency's sake. I don't really mind going to mine again. I would do that normally, probably. But I want the recording, if people are watching it, for them to have all the building together. I mean, I've already split this up across streams because we ran out of materials before, so ideally I would have started on it, got all the materials together, started a stream building this, and then finished it in the same stream. But I think at the pace that I build, I don't think that would have necessarily been possible, because it'll probably taken me more than the length that I stream to build this. So I think we might have enough here, so I think that's gonna work. What I end up doing is, on the top level, when you put this in, or if you use full blocks, you'll have the same problem down here. If you use full blocks, the roof is going to be this high. So like when I was doing this, you can't do that once the roof is in. Obviously, if you're working on the top layer each time, there won't be anything above you, so you can do it. But like now, if I go back to take the torches out and stuff, you're going to have to get across. So what I do in that case is, I leave the trapdoors here and I put a slab in between, and I just walk, right? And so I don't need to go through here. I'm going to go that way around, so I can close this off. We don't really have to measure anything, because everything needs to have a roof on anyway, so we just do this. Just crouching to get the angle a little bit better. And I'm not going to get rid of this yet, because the torches are still in, and I'm going to have to take them out later. An advantage if you misplace them like that, so accidentally put it below, when you break that bottom one, the top one will stay, so you won't have to replace it, because they're not in the same block. And I promise I'm not deliberately doing it again to show you. That's just me being bad at clicking. Which is funny. Minecraft is basically just walking and clicking. You'd expect somebody who does a lot of that to be semi-decent at it. Okay, so now there. We might not have enough slabs if we're using some of them to do that, but that's fine. I'll rather go get more. Don't want to rush it. You have to place it against that though, otherwise you open and close the trapdoor. Forgot about that myself for a second. This is usually where I end up running out of supplies with like 8 slabs to spare, and then I have to do another run. So we just have to remember that we have to, we can close that, we're not going to go that way, we're going to go around when we need to. And so we don't have to get on top of this anymore. So, and this, you can see this is all bottom slabs now, so there's no lighting on this, and you can't place a torch here. You see, I'm right clicking, and just doing that so you can hear it. I guess I could show you as well, but that's fine. We don't need light up here. Nothing can spawn. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to close this off entirely. So there you go. So we still need to leave this gap open because we have to get in here. And yeah, so these are open now, but they'll be closed, so they'll look like this later on. We're going to do the same thing. We're not going to go through that one, we're going to go through these. So we seem to have some slabs left over, so I'm just going to put them there for now. And this is where having like multiple players is advantageous, because if someone stays up here and another person goes to get more supplies, you're effectively stopping things from spawning. Because if you're in the middle here, like 24 blocks in all directions, nothing will spawn, which means nowhere in this mob farm things will spawn. Then I guess technically you don't even have to torch everything up, which would be easier. Then you have to clear all the torches. All you have to do is make an exit and take it. But in our case we're being extra careful because that's just what we have to do. So let me just make sure we can... Yeah, I don't think we can get up there. We have to do this to get up there. Yeah. So now we can jump up there, get out there, go to the top. We can get to every platform. We need to clear this out. That we're going to do last. So we're going to go through every platform, clear the torches. The third one, then the second one, then the first one. And as we go finish each one, we're going to fill this in from the top. When we get to the bottom, we're gonna come out this side. We're gonna take out all the torches, remove these, fix the trapdoors. Let me just see if I replace this. Can we? Do I even have full blocks still? Let's see if we. Yes, we can. Okay. So I'm going to do that now because I might as well do as much as I can until before it's the final step. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Need that one, this one, that one, and then the there should be one more. Actually, no, there's 3 more. Okay, so now all the trapdoors are in, and we can just remove the torches and close up the holes. The other thing that we have to do is when we go down here, I guess we can take the ladder. The only thing that I want to know is, so before this the sun used to light this up. I don't know if these torches are lighting up enough anymore, but we need to be able to get out here, preferably in a way that other mobs can't, and we can fill it in. So you see we can crouch to get through there, and we also need one more thing. Well, we don't need it, but I'm going to do it anyway, and that is to make some more trapdoors. So I need 12. I don't want to make extra because I don't want to end up with spares. So what I want to do is just this. You don't need this. This just decreases the angle that they can see you at. So because it adds a little bit here, without it you'll see if I stand all the way at the front, I can see 1, 2, 3 and almost 4 whole blocks. If I go in here I can only see 1, just less than 2, which means creepers have to be further back to see you, which gives you a little bit more time to get out of the way. That's just a little trick to help with that. And you can still hit underneath here, and this is still a slab, so the hoppers underneath here will still work. Now we don't have the iron to do the hoppers yet, so what I'm going to do for now is just ignore it. I'll just kill things here and run around to pick up the drops, and then what we'll do is we'll end up putting hoppers in it. We'll put the hopper chain underneath to automatically pick up the drops later. So that's it. We still need the one here, but we'll put that in last. And now the only thing we need is blocks. We don't have I've got some slabs here, but that's not going to be enough. So I'm gonna head to the base and get some more stone bricks because we need stone bricks. I'm just gonna take a quick bathroom break. I'll be back in less than 5 minutes, and then we'll finish this off. I'm pretty sure we'll get this up and running by the end of the stream. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Oh, I'm not sitting in front of the camera. Okay. So what do we have? We have a lot more slabs. Still have some spruce, so we didn't use all the spruce logs. That's good. What we can do is, I wonder if we can, I'll figure something out for the windows here. But I don't think we should have some spare glass lying around from when we dug up some of the floors in our house here. Actually, I think we smelted some of it, so we might actually have glass already. So I think this is going to be the issue. We don't have a lot of this stuff. I'm going to leave some bricks, stone brick slabs on me. But I think we need to I was hoping there was some stone from the walls and stuff that I can take. But that's fine. What I'll do is I'll take some from here. I don't want to take too much because this is lit up. If I take too much away, it's not going to be lit up anymore. That's not a problem we want to have. Unfortunately, not everything here is stone, so we don't want to get too eager and end up taking stuff that we need. I'm pretty sure that'll be enough. Probably going to want to fill that up in at some point. Okay, I think that's everything we need. I actually think one of the things we don't have, which this will also give us, which would be nice, is carrots. I don't think we found carrots yet, so for zombies have a rare chance to drop carrots, so if we get one of those and we get our fortune pickaxe, we can start a carrot farm. And one of the things I want to do is build a gold farm, and I didn't get around to it before because it's one of those things that something can go wrong if you go through all the effort. I mean, it's going to take a couple of streams to build a gold farm. Then if you do that and then something silly happens, like the Enderman gets you, like it did to me, then you feel like, oh, you spent all those nights working on gold farm, and it's effectively wasted effort. So all the water's in. It's just the doors. 61 is definitely going to be enough. Now, worst case scenario, we mess this up, we're not able to go in here, then we'd have to jump out the side. And the reason why I'm so careful is that from here everything is within 24 blocks, so nothing will spawn if it's dark. But if you walk to the edge over here, that block probably isn't 24 away. But at the bottom, if you go at an angle, that might be 24 away. So that's something to be careful of. Basically, once we start removing these torches, this is like we can no longer come into this box at all. You can hear how quickly I just removed a few torches and now I'm getting the spawner noises. Remember, this is only the top layer. We still have to go back on the layers below to do them. We can't have anything spawn because we need to also remove the things in the bottom. Theory, since we're going to be going to the next layer anyway, we don't have to do it in reverse order. We can just take out all the torches, because we're going to be just as far from this corner when we're there as we're going to be from this corner when we're there. I just somehow get it in my head that I want to be as close to the door as possible when it's dark, so I don't want to make it dark until I'm heading for the door or heading for the exit. Okay, so that's that layer done. If you make a mistake here and you, I don't know, leave a block in somewhere where you shouldn't have, it probably won't make the mob farm not work. It'll just probably mean reduced drop rates. So that's kind of like a condolence. It's not like the end of the world. Okay. Now it's going to start getting very dark very quickly when you get these last torches out. Right now there's still a little bit of light coming in from where these are. Now that's closed. Now what we want to do is we want to have the water flush all that out. And then if we go down here now, things are going to start spawning, and we don't want them to fall on us, and a creeper will kill us if it gets here now. So that should be safe. Oops, that's not a trapdoor, that's a regular trapdoor, slag. That's a trapdoor. So I just realized this is a 20 drop. Mobs should have dropped already. do seem to be one hit with an axe. Okay, spiders fall to their death though. They should be spawning much faster than that. So let's just organize some of this over here. Put that in the floor, and we'll put this put it here. Something's not right. They're supposed to spawn more than that. I put before I put it a little bit higher, but more of them were falling to their death back then. Oh, there we got the carrot that we were looking for. That didn't take long. Yeah, so it looks like when you're down here, slightly more of them spawn. I saw a zombie there, which means that they are spawning over there. That might be a problem. Let's look at this side, because that's actually further than this. Okay. Okay. Might have to make at least one hopper in the middle, just because we can't get to the middle. Oh, zombie villager! How do we save him? We can't save him. I would love to save him, but I can't. Whatever I do to try and get him out, it's gonna let the others out. Oh well, I can't cure him yet anyway, so... Yes, there's definitely something wrong. They should be spawning much faster than this. I think using slabs over full blocks might have made a difference. Just getting to 30 levels. And we can go and enchant our fortune axe, and we can come back again. I suspect I did something wrong, unless the slabs is causing this spawn rate to Let me look up there. Entities 31 of 164. So if you look up, entities goes up to like 30. So there are a lot of entities up there, they're just not pathing into the thing. Okay, there's our 30 levels. Okay, we can bring an anvil and enchanting setup somewhere here. I think if we put a enchanter in the corner here, we can use the sides and we should be able to get 15 in. Or we might expand this a little bit, I don't know, whichever works. This is the one annoying thing, that they end up dropping so many of these useless items. Oh, we might as well kill them now while the axe isn't gonna last. Okay. So this is where it gets tricky. If we want to keep that diamond axe, we will have to take 3 more ores, break it without fortune, but I think that's the way to go. And let's just let me just combine, what was it, this one and that one. I think I have another bow here, I can combine that as well in the bottom. Yeah. Put all the mob drops in there. The carrots should go in there. Oh, the grindstone is on the other side, so let's just get the gold nugget and then diamond pickaxe. Here we go. And then we should have... Now, if this says Fortune 2, means... No, it says Fortune 3. Okay, that's good. So you can still get Fortune 3 on a pickaxe. And it has Efficiency 4, which means if I combine this with the other one, I'll have Efficiency 5, Unbreaking 3, Fortune 3. That's pretty decent. I don't like to waste the diamonds on the second pickaxe to combine them into one. But since none of the enchantments overlap, that's actually fine. It doesn't upset me much. This one, here we go. So we'll combine these two for Efficiency 5 and Unbreaking 3, Fortune 3, and then it just needs mending. But now I think we'll have to make our first anvil. I think I should have enough once I smelt this. Oops. We'll do 40. I'll have to split this up. And 40 will have to go into 5. No, we'll have to go into 5, and then we have to double one up because we have fewer furnaces than that, so and then what's it, 3 blocks is 27 and 4 is 31, so this will be enough for an anvil. That'll let us combine that. Hi Nico, how's it going? Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. How can I stack furnaces? No, I'm not stacking them, I just place them on top of each other. So I place them against the wall. So let me see if I have any cobblestone. No, I don't have any. I just place them like this. Like that. It's just a convenient way to see which ones are going. Yeah, I mean, so something that I actually, it's kind of funny. I don't like the texture of cobblestone. Like this cobblestone doesn't look so good. But I quite like this texture. Furnaces have this funny texture on the back as well. Let's see if I place them this way. You see, like that's quite a nice texture to build with. The problem is it's not on all sides, so if you place furnaces, you always have to place them facing something that you won't see. So, but it can be useful if you place them like on the outside layer of a wall, so that you see this on the outside, but then you put something else in front of it, so you don't have to see the front of the furnace. Even this top texture, it doesn't look like cobblestone, see? It's much lighter, but it does have cracks in it, but it's more defined than this. It's not like... This cobblestone texture looks like bubbles to me. Like, each of these things is like a little bubble. It looks kind of odd. I quite like the smooth stone slab texture they always used to have. But now they've changed it so that if you place 2 of them, so I like it when you place them instead of bricks, you place 2 on top of each other. But now when you place 2 slabs on top of each other, it doesn't give you that texture anymore. It gives you the new smooth stone, well, it's not new, the smooth stone block texture, which isn't as nice. I guess people wanted to have that texture on walls, and that was the way that they decided to make that happen. Okay, let me grab this anvil. Don't need to enchant. I don't know why I was running there. 1, 2, 3. It's not giving me the recipe. I have to go out before. No, it's fine. Okay, so let's place. I'm done with most of these blocks now, so let me put them away so that I have them for later. I can put the slabs there. I don't know what this song is, but I'm gonna skip it because I don't like it. I think I'm gonna have to eventually put this up there where the mob farm is, but for now I'll put this here. Efficiency 5, I'm bringing to fortune 3. Okay. So we have our silk touch and our fortune pickaxes, and combine these 2. And now we can check from the diamonds that we have. 16. How much we get? 16 should be 4x4, so that should be right. And let's see. So from the 16 we get 36. That's not too bad. That's more than 2 per. So I'm happy with that. And this should give us enough to make a full set of armor, which I'm going to do right away because that is the safe thing to do. And the way that I do that is like this, and then blip blip blip, and chest plate, and now because we combined the two pickaxes, we lost a lot of levels, so we won't be able to enchant any of this stuff. But what I want to do just before I try to, let me just put that in there, I don't need that right now. Before I start trying to enchant any of it, I want to see what they give me. Protection, Aqua Affinity, Protection 4, Fire Protection 4. So I have Protection 4 on the legs and that. I'm also going to make the other tools. Because I'd like to be able to see what all the options are every time. I'm going to need the sword for looting now, and the axe as well. And then I'm going to sleep. So once I start getting no enchantments that I like, then I'll consider cycling. But for now we've got 2 protections, so one of those is definitely worth it. Efficiency 4 on a shovel, Silk Touch on a shovel. Silk Touch on a shovel is nice. The thing we want on the sword, we want sharpness 4 eventually, or sharpness 5 eventually, but the thing to get on the first enchant I think is going to be looting. So we're going to try and cycle until we get looting. Looting is the most important. Getting looting on that. On these 2 I'll take something, but I'm not too worried which one I get. Wandering travelers here, wandering traders here again. Let's put some of this back. We're done with this for now. I actually ended up making more of this than we needed. Don't need that. And for the iron we can do that, and we've got a golden nugget as well now, so we can put